This is Elk Talk Live, and we are doing it on a Wednesday night because, well, I was busy last night, and I was busy Monday night. So, appreciate you being here. Thanks to Bowtech, thanks to Leupold, Onyx, Go Hunt, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, Tight Spot, Ripcord, Black Gold, all the companies that make this possible. I can tell you that Go Hunt and Onyx and Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls have a promo code that'll save you a bunch of money when you check out, and use promo code RANDY. So, all right, someone says, hey, you're good on Facebook. All right. Eric asks, hey Randy, first rifle season in Colorado, should I check out every remote 5-year-old burn or a 2-year-old burn near roads and lower elevations? I'd check them all out. What are you doing there, Michael? Michael's over there. He turned the volume way up. Scared me. Let's see. I'll be in Montana the last 2 weeks of September. We've been there before. What are your thoughts on bugling in an area that has a fair amount of pressure? Let her rip. Don't even worry about it. Do it. Let's see. Howdy from Texas. Hey Tony, how you doing? I sound like a NASCAR driver? Oh, I suppose I probably do when I read off all the sponsors, right? Yeah, I probably, don't they pour milk? Oh, no, that's the IndyCar. They pour milk over their head or something. But, Randy, is antelope better in Montana or Utah? They're about the same, I think. Neither of them are anywhere close to Wyoming, Arizona, Nevada, or New Mexico. But I might have a different opinion next year when I get my antelope tag in Utah. What kind of archery release do I use? I use Carter Quickie finger release. Would you hunt water or feeding areas the first week of archery in Montana? Both. Depending on the temperature, depending on what part of Montana. And early in the season like that, it's still pretty hot. They're going to need some water. But later on, they're going to shift over to wherever the cows are. The cows are going to be where the feed is. So a lot of times in the peak rut, hunting for cows or hunting bulls is like hunting for cows, which is a feed pattern. So, oh, wow. What size pack would you recommend for a 10-day backcountry elk hunt? Whew. For me, I use mystery inch packs. If I was going for 10 days, I'd either have a Marshall or a Beartooth 80. How can you overcome chronic aches and pains while hunting? I wish I knew. Anyone who saw if you've been out on our Amazon channel, so many of the episodes went live last week. One of them is a sheep hunt, and that's now out on our YouTube channel also. And yeah, I've got lots of aches and pains that I deal with, and I wish I knew a way to get rid of them. All I know to do is to just work through them and say, you know what, I'm still out here going, so consider that the benefit. Antelope, Area 74 in Wyoming, any advice? Yeah, lots of antelope, lots and lots of antelope, lots of public land. If you're going archery hunting, you're going to see tons and tons of them. A lot of them. Let's see, what's more important, good boots or a rangefinder? They're both important, but poor boots are really bad. So I'm probably going to go with boots on that one. But I never discount optics. I just don't. Randy, where would you hunt for a late season cow tag in Arizona? I'd probably hunt in Unit 8 or 10. The number of cow elk I see when I'm there on bull hunts causes me to say, I really would like to have a cow tag here. Man, there's a lot of cows in those units. How does your wife deal with your liver condition when you're in the backcountry? She doesn't. Michael and Marcus and those guys do. Michael got to take me to the ER. When was it, in May? Yep. Yeah, he's like, dude, you're not doing well, man. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'll catch up to you. Well, when I didn't show up, Michael came down and rescued me about halfway down the mountain. So, With 3 points in Colorado, can you get a higher quality unit, or is it worth saving 5 points for an archery bow? No, I'd go with 3 points. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think those extra 2 points is worth the 2 years of missing out on elk hunting. In your opinion, is a 400 grain total arrow weight with 100 grain fixed head and 65 pound draw weight suitable for elk? Yeah, it will work. I use something heavier than that. I use 125 grain. I only pull 63 pounds, but I have a 500 total arrow weight of 500 grains. And I just chronoed my arrows the other day. I just wanted to make sure. It's amazing. In my Bowtech Realm SR6, I shot 5 arrows. Every one of them were 256 feet per second. Like, boom, boom. Usually, you get a foot or 2 or maybe 3 as a variation in a chrono. It was crazy. So that's what I use. Works good enough for me. What you have there will work, but if you can, go with a heavier setup for elk. Elk are just big, tough critters. So, Adam asks, I'm making my first trip out west doing an elk hunt in Montana from September 5th through the 15th, thinking along the Idaho border. Is there a lot of elk in that general area? Are conditions good for glassing? Yeah, according to FWP, that part of the state is over objective, but I always caution people in Montana, our objectives are set pretty low because they're set more by social tolerance and political pressure than they are actual carrying capacity. So don't always think that if it says it's over objective, that means it's overrun with elk. It might just mean the objective is really low. So Randy, I got a new Howa 1500 300 Win mag. Any tips for breaking in the barrel? This is a controversial one. A lot of people say, nope, you don't have to break in a barrel. Well, I had this rifle out at the range Monday, and another one just like it. This is the new Randy Newberg signature series that we did with Howa. And if you saw how much debris was in that rifle barrel from every shot in the first 20 shots, I mean, here's how I do it. I shoot around, I clean it and let it cool. Then I go to another rifle, I shoot around, I clean it, let it cool. And I do that for the first 10, one shot at a time. And then after I've done 10, then I do 2 shots at a time. Clean, cool. 2 shots, clean, cool. And when I'm all done, after I go through a box of 20 rounds, then I feel that it's time, all right, the barrel is where I'm kind of getting comfortable with it. Now it's time to start dialing in my groups, getting my scope set to where I want to be. So you're going to get a bunch of people who say you don't need to do that. I'm a firm believer that it's helpful. First time elk hunter in September in Colorado over the counter. Do we cover a lot of miles or find sign and sit on it? In September, the elk are moving and they're dispersed across the landscape. I'm moving. I'm trying to intercept as many of them as I can. So I'm really not one, well, I say that, and then I also tell people, understand that I'm not very good at sitting. I'm not good at it. So I'd probably be a little biased in the answer of sitting or moving. I'm more towards the moving standpoint, just how I do it. Let's see. Where are the comments here? All right. Good evening from Casper, Wyoming. Wyoming is still very green. Yes, we like to hear that, don't we, Michael? Yep. How long until you're in Wyoming? 23 days and a wake up?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Michael's got an archery tag down there. Have I ever hunted mule deer in Kansas? I've not. I've hunted whitetails there 3 times. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Well, for sure. I mean, look, Jack Link's Jerky has the Bigfoot guy, man. I mean, everyone. There's a guy in Bozeman, he teaches at the high school. He's made a part-time living in the summers chasing Bigfoot. It's crazy. Are the rifles available yet? I think we're announcing the final details on Friday or Monday. they're supposed to be available pretty soon, like in the next week. So, let's see. If you wanted to practice calling bulls or introduce someone into bulls screaming in their face, where would you go? No weapon, just experience. Not a popular public area. That's a hard one. I don't know, because anywhere I'd go, I'd mess other hunters up. So, and a lot of the national parks, you're not allowed to do it. So that's a hard one. I don't know that I have an answer for that one. I don't know. What retailers are going to be the retailers carrying the new Randy Newberg rifle, and did I talk them into making a left-handed model? No. I apologize to all the lefties, all the southpaws. Howa doesn't make left-handed rifles. I'm sorry about that. You'll have to call them. And I think the retailer is pretty well decided, but I'm going to have to announce that next week. So I got to be careful. I don't want to say something that doesn't. Yeah. Promo codes at Kenetrek. I need some good boots. If you go out there, use promo code Randy. Usually it's good for some money off or a new pair of gaiters, a free pair of gaiters. So do one or the other. Or do it and you'll get one or the other. What yardage do you have your scopes zeroed in at? It depends. Most of them, I have 100 yards zero on my CDS, which is Leupold's custom dial system. A couple of them I have zeroed at 200 yards, but I'm not one of those guys who likes to really go after the long shots. I mean, we so seldom shoot at anything over 400 yards and very seldom even over 300 yards. So we really don't, we just don't have need to, have a 300 yard zero or something. So it's just the way I did it, the way I do it, I guess. When does the rut start in southern Colorado? We will be bugling opening day of archery August 31st through September 7th. You're gonna be in the pre-rut stage. There'll be some bugling that happens then, but you're not going to be in the peak rut when you go that early. You're about probably 3 to 5 days before the peak rut gets up there and stays there for quite a while. Oh, Everett says, Randy, any room on your calendar for Himalaya snowcock in Nevada? Whew, boy, that's a temptation, let me tell you. That would be so cool. But someday I'm going to go do Himalayan snowcock. It's a species only found in Nevada, I believe, at very high alpine in the Ruby Mountains and the East Humboldts. And when I've deer hunted in those areas, I've seen a couple of them. They're cool, really cool. So, let's see. What week of the rifle general elk hunt in Montana would you hunt if you only had a week? I would rifle, he said. I would come in archery if I had my choice. But if it was rifle, I'd come the first week or the last week. The first week, you might be able to catch some bulls that haven't yet been pressured, or they're still, that first day or two, they're still like, what's going on? But it doesn't take them long to figure it out. And then the last week, that's kind of a roll of the dice that you're going to have the opportunity to take advantage of some weather. They could be pushing them down lower in their transition ranges and makes them a lot easier to see. They're in bachelor groups rather than solo like they would be in October. So that last week is really, really good. So, man, a lot of you people know where I travel. They're talking about Jerry's Donuts in Rawlins, Wyoming. Gary, go to Jerry's Donuts. I can assure you, you won't regret it. Saw a crazy comment that I ground pound grouse. Elizabeth asked that. Well, by gosh, I shoot grouse on the stump, on the ground, out of trees. If you're a grouse, grouse season opens in Montana September 1st. they're in trouble. I'm not going to be traveling that week. I'm going to be in town, and I'm going all in on the grouse hunt in the first few days. So, a lot of people ask this, what's my take about elk with a 6.5 Creedmoor? Like tonight, there's probably been asked 3 or 4 times, and I have all kinds of rifles I can grab for. The 6.5 is not one that I would pick for elk. Will it kill an elk? Certainly it will. You take a good bullet and you place it properly in a Creedmoor 6.5, it's going to kill an elk. But I'm just more comfortable with something that is a little more heft. I'm probably going to grab a 308, 300 Win Mag, something like that. But a 6.5 will certainly kill one. Just be very particular about your shot angles and shot distances, and use the best quality bullet you can find. So let's see. What are your plans for coming to Oregon? I think we're close to getting it on the calendar for next year. Randy, are my Kenetrek Mountain Extreme 400 gram boots too warm for the first rifle hunt in southern Colorado? Depends on how your feet are. Some people's feet get cold easier. I wear my non-insulated boots until December here in Montana, so I can usually get by with my non-insulateds down to 0 degrees, but I also have spent my whole life in cold weather and know how to take care of my feet and take a lot of extra precautions. So they might be a little warm, but if that's what you got, go for it, and just bring extra lighter weight socks so that you can change socks during the middle of the day as your feet are sweating. Let's see. How would you hunt opening day for the first rifle season in Colorado? Looking for herds with bulls or sanctuaries? First rifle season is mid-October. You're going to have where that peak rut period starts lowering and getting down to that post-rut period. So it's that weird transition time. And the first rifle season, because they've really not had much hunting pressure. Yeah, they've had some, they haven't had much rifle hunting pressure, let's put it that way. You might still have some bulls that are not in sanctuary mode. So the first few days of that hunt, you might be looking for cows and have some bulls lingering around, but by the end of that hunt, the hunting pressure is probably going to have them in sanctuary mode. So, I'm betting a 7mm08 with a Nosler E-tip bullet would smack an elk pretty good. I think it probably would. In fact, I know it would. Have you ever hunted pronghorn in Texas? Nope, I've not. September archery cow hunting tips, North Dakota tag. Corey Jacobson and I do our Elk Talk podcast. We did an hour and a half of cow elk hunting. So it just went live last Friday. Go download that podcast and it'll give you a whole lot of ideas. Any Alaska hunts this year? Not for me or Michael, but Marcus is going to Alaska. Marcus is going on a do-it-yourself moose hunt in Alaska. I'm like, fine, you go do it. You just make sure you get it on film. I don't care. The guy says he's going to hike in 3 miles. He's nuts. Anyone who's carried a Shiras moose a mile regrets it. And an Alaska Yukon moose for 3 miles? I'm sorry, Marcus. I love you, man, but you've lost your marbles on that one. So, what side of the slope will elk be found on in early season? It depends on the time of day. It depends on the amount of cover. If it's the time of day that they're bedding, you're probably going to find them on a northeast or a northwest. Maybe a full north, but they're still not going to be that far from their feeding areas. So if the east side is well protected and provides some shade and gives them places where they feel they can escape and detect danger coming real easily, they might be on a straight east slope or maybe a straight west slope. It's really hard to say. without knowing how the ground lays. I'm interested to know, well, it's an interesting observation to see how many times we get asked the question, me and Corey Jacobson, we talk about it, of how many people ask what slope we glass or we hunt. And the answer is always, it depends. I can't say that it's always this or it's always that. I'd say the least that I hunt are south-facing slopes. That's probably the least of them, but other than a straight south slope, anything, I might end up spending time glassing it, hunting it, calling in it, whatever. So, oh, let's see. Oh yeah, Hunters Connect. Dave brought that up. If you know any new hunters, we've helped International Hunter Education Association build a YouTube channel and a Facebook page and an Instagram page called Hunters Connect. It's pretty basic information, but it's stuff that new hunters, especially those hunters who are adults that go through the online course, they could get a huge benefit from that. So, Hunters Connect, go Google it, or, oh, Michael's gonna post a link to it. Hope you'll follow it out on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Do my camera guys get enough time for a social life during the season? I hope not. If they do, I don't have a social, they're not on the road as much as I am, so think about this. There's 4 of those guys, and there's 1 of me. And I gotta be everywhere, and they get to rotate. So they got a heck of a lot more of a social life than I've got. But they get the rest of the year for their social life. But Michael, how old are you, Michael? And you're not married?
26.
Michael's 26, and he's not even, maybe he's got a girlfriend. I don't know. He's always talking about this one and that one, but we never see him. So I don't know. He's probably going to blame that on his lack of social life here at work. Oh, let's see. Have I ever thought of meeting up with the Born and Raised crew? Yeah, I have. I talked to those guys. In fact, the first year when they did Land of the Free, they'd called me, and I wanted to go because, hey, high on my list, right? Roosevelt Elk, and those guys are experts. But I was busy. My calendar is already blocked. So as busy as we both are, their group and our group, I don't know that it'll ever work out. They've been on our podcast before. Great guys. It'd be fun. Andy says Marcus would be better off moving a house to where he shoots the moose. It'll be easier. I agree, Andy. No doubt about it. But let's see. Chuck, how would you describe a north-facing slope? So you're facing north, is that the slope? No, the slope itself faces north. So it'll be, so if the sun is back here, and the mountain is like this is the south-facing slope. This is the north-facing slope. In other words, it's the slope that runs from high to low towards the north. So, someone blames your lack of girlfriends on your potty mouth, Michael. Yeah. What should I look for in feeding areas for elk? Grass areas? Yes, as a general rule, right, Michael? Michael, when is your, tomorrow? Is that when you're,
Yep.
All right, on X and Michael and me, we're doing a 4-part hands-on e-scouting series for Michael's Wyoming elk tag. The first episode drops tomorrow morning. And over the course of those episodes, you're gonna learn when feed is important and what kind of feed, forbs, grasses, stuff like that. So yes, if you're looking for elk, grasses are what you want as a general rule. Do I eat all the animals I kill? I think so. I even keep the animals I catch. I eat Michael catch and releases fish. I catch them and cook them. I trap muskrats. We eat those. Beaver, you name it. Let's see. How close to a buddy spot can you morally hunt? You know what? I tell any of my friends, don't even tell me your spot. I don't want to know where it is. If I happen to stumble into it, that's okay. But they've worked hard for those spots, and I respect that. I don't want to go there. Even if they invite me, I worry that, you know, what if sometime I end up near there or whatever. I hunt so many different places. I don't really have a quote unquote spot or area. And I know that results in a lot of contention between hunting groups and sometimes friends. It ends some relationships. And for me, it's just not worth it. And I'll go find my own spot. And I don't, the number of guys are like, well, you want to know about this spot? I'm like, no, not really. Thanks, but I'm going to go do my own research. So, when archery elk hunting and wolves move into that area, do you relocate? I might, but it just depends on how the elk are responding. I know in Idaho, guys, they've got more wolves than we do here in Montana. And they'll talk about how wolves will definitely change the behaviors and the patterns of the elk for a day or two. And think about it, wolves, though. They make these big 30, 40-mile loops, and it takes them a week to make those kind of loops. So if you're in elk in this basin, the wolves might be in there for a day, but they're probably going to continue on your loop. So just because they were there one time, don't give up on it. There's a very good chance next time you go in there, the wolves won't be there and the elk will be sounding off, doing everything to let you know, here I am. Is a 270 with 150 grain Nosler partition sufficient for a cow elk? I believe so, because I shot 5 bull elk with that same exact setup. A 270 Win, 150 grain Nosler partition. 5 bulls, so I'm pretty sure it'll work for that cow elk. How far away can you hear an elk bugle in the timber? If you're like me, not as far as Michael can hear it. It depends. It depends on how hard the wind's blowing. It depends on so many things, but the odds are they're probably closer than you think they are in the timber. That's been my experience. So, let's see. After seeing the broadhead incident with Corey and David Brinker, have you changed your first aid pack? Yes, I have. In fact, I don't have it in here. Dang it. Yeah, that 400 that's in there. Adventure Medical Kits. We've been using them for the last year and a half, and they sent us so much cool stuff. We're going to start doing a bunch of things about their kits. Their kits are superb. This one is a 400. I believe, yeah. So they make a 400, a 300, a 200, and a 100. But they also own the company that makes Quick Clot. They make all kinds of cool stuff. They make trauma kits. Google Adventure Medical Kits. Go out there. They have this whole Sportsman series. This is, yeah. I have changed my setup thanks to Adventure Medical Kits. It was a pretty easy change. I just said, yeah, I need one of those. And then you can pick some of the other things if you want to add more to it. Boy, a lot of these questions end up being pretty generic, so I'm sorry to skip over some of them. Oh man, Randy, you do a lot of promo work for Dog Day Spice Rubs. Which ones are the best for heart? Oh man. I'd have to, I'm gonna have to come back to that question. They have some really funny names for their product, but I can tell you that it's really, really good stuff. I use it a lot for all kinds of things. I'm trying to think which one I use the most for heart. I don't know. Probably Knucklehead, Jax. I don't know. Any of them. Go out to their website, Dog Day Spice Rubs. Really, really good stuff. And then they have some other stuff that's for whiter meats that's really good. Backcountry medical triage training videos would be pretty cool. Coming to a YouTube channel near you next February, March, and April. Yeah, if we can get the medical professionals, I'm next winter, I'm going to an emergency, what do they call it? Wilderness first responder. I'm going to go get certified. And I'm going to see if I can convince some of those instructors, some of those specialists to do some YouTube videos with us. I think that'd be super helpful. The downside is in the medical world, giving advice and doing videos about first aid and such, I guess in some states comes with liability that you can be held accountable if someone does what you tell them to do and say they do the wrong thing or they apply the wrong procedure for the wrong event. So it is always a bit difficult to get people to do those kind of videos, but we're gonna try it. Can you do a bag dump on the medical kit? Oh, Clinton, that's a great idea. Michael, write that one down.
Got
it. I wonder if they'll ever give us a promo code. That'd be even better yet, but I don't know. Randy, do you ever film waterfowl hunts? Nope. I don't, because that's my son and I, that's our time together with no cameras. No cameras, just smacking big orange-legged mallards coming out of the sky. Let's see. Can you talk about the water filtration system that you use, and would you trust it with standing water? I use Catadine systems. I probably use Catadine more than anything anymore, and they're big gravity systems. Would I use it with standing water? I probably would, but standing water by the time hunting season comes around is really rank. I've purified with Aqua Myra tablets before, standing water, and the taste, they say it's gonna kill every bug, and I didn't get Giardia or any stomach illnesses, but man, it's bad. It tastes so bad. I'd say probably not. I wouldn't use it on standing water if I could at all help it. Is it worth starting to collect Montana bonus points for my 18-year-old twins? I don't know if you're a resident. I don't know. For elk. No, I don't think so. Bonus points in Montana don't do you much good. They'll do you a little bit of help, but our general units aren't that much different than our limited entry units, especially if you're a non-resident. I wouldn't start burning all those costs for that. Do I use supplements or athletic powder products? Nope, I don't. And I have this weird liver condition, so my absorption of a lot of things is not that good. And I go to the Mayo every couple of years, and I bring all these labels with me of, hey, if I took this supplement, would it help? And they say, you know, with your low absorption rates of everything, it's just going to create expensive urine. So I don't use them. I go to Dairy Queen, though. I don't know if they make a supplement, but I think some of those are well, could be a supplement. Oh, how do I like to cook my pronghorn? We have 4 pronghorn tags this year. Ooh, lucky you, Cameron. I used to cut my backstraps of pronghorn, cut them into steaks. Not anymore. I take that backstrap that's about this long, and I get 2, maybe 3 long loin roasts out of it, and I slow cook those things on the Traeger. And, oh man, it is so good. Marinate them, a little bit of Dog Day spice rub, slow cook them at like 275, 280. Whew. Man, I get hungry just thinking about it. We're fresh out, and I guess I find out tomorrow if I got a Montana antelope tag. It'll be my only antelope tag if I have one. Let's see, what stage are the elk in Colorado during second season? In second season, they're going to be in post-rut. It's the hardest time to find elk, the hardest time to kill an elk. Randy, do you use trail cameras? Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't own a trail camera, so I'm sorry I wouldn't even be able to answer the question. I know so little about trail cameras. What size cooler do you use to keep your antelope cool from the field to the butcher? I can usually get a whole antelope in a 65 quart Orion cooler, which use promo code Randy and save 20%. But if you're going to be traveling longer distances, maybe go with an 85, because then you can fit more ice in there. So I would think about it based on where you're going to be from. And what I mean by where you're going to be, how far is it from the hunt to where you're going to get that animal processed. Do I believe that cow elk taste better than bulls? It's been my experience, and I don't know if it's so much the taste as it is the tenderness. You think about a bull, he's really withered away. He has no fat. He's just muscle and sinew by the time we end up hunting them a lot. So I think that's probably a little bit of the reason why the people think the taste is different. I think the taste is pretty similar. It's just the texture. And at least that's my experience. Some other people might have a completely different experience. Oh, how do you find bulls the first week of September? It's going to be hot. I would strongly suggest you watch Michael's e-scouting video on YouTube tomorrow morning. It's tomorrow morning and then next Monday. So tomorrow's the overview and next Monday is the one for early September when it's going to be hot, right, Michael?
Yep.
Yeah, so go watch that. We go into it in serious detail. Do you get into midday action during a new moon phase in September? I sure have. I've got new moon phase, full moon phase. I've had luck every one of those phases. I am so much not, I don't worry about moon phase. I just got to go. We're going from place to place to place to place. And if I was going to worry about moon phases, that means there's at least a week, maybe 10 days of each month that I'm not out hunting. Heck with that. I'm hunting. So, what's the closest you've camped to an elk herd? Probably 1.5 to 2 miles. Has that video released yet? The selecting a camp?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, we did a video about selecting our elk camp for this fall because we get that question a lot. So it's a YouTube video out on our channel. What's your favorite antelope unit in Wyoming? Well, if you were going to give me any tag, I've had some of the glory tags there. Yeah, I'd take any of them in the Red Desert area, but they're almost impossible to draw. So crossing all those really hard to draw ones off, I can assure you that my favorite antelope hunt in Wyoming has a little asterisk by it that says access is difficult. But if you got on X on your phone, access isn't as difficult as you might think it is. So, yeah. Does having llamas change where you geographically are willing to shoot an elk? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. Yeah, in fact, this video that Michael just posted a link to about selecting a camp, that camp is selected because we know we can get llamas if we shoot one, it's going to be about 7.5 miles from the trailhead. Our camp will be about 5.5 miles from the trailhead. So if I didn't have llamas, there's no way I'd be hunting in there. It's steep, it's ugly, it's an old burn. I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, llamas are a game changer with that. Should I bugle early in the elk season? Yep, I would. See it happen. You just never know. When does the rust start in eastern Montana? I would say you're going to hear bugling starting in late August. It's going to pick up in early September, and by the 10th of September, it's going to be rip snorting. Must-have gear for an Arizona Coues deer hunt. The best binos you can possibly get your hands on. Everything else is secondary. It just is. They are hard to see. Do I do any small game hunting? Yep. If you're a cottontail or an antelope jackrabbit, you better lay low when I come walking by. I love small game hunting, very much so. Let's see. Am I going to be collecting data for Fish and Wildlife agencies this year like you did in previous years on your son's moose hunt? Some hunts they send you that and some they don't. So we don't have any hunts, I think, where we've been sent collection requests. So I guess the answer is probably not. What is my take on headlamps? Oh, Michael's laughing because I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to headlamps. I take headlamps pretty seriously. In fact, I carry spares for people who show up with stupid headlamps. Do you have a certain one that you like that's dependable? Yes, I like Petzls are the ones that work the best for me. And if you show up in my camp and your headlamp does not have a green or red feature, I'm going to ask you to leave your headlamp at the truck, and I'm going to let you borrow one of my red-green headlamps. Isn't that how we do it, Michael?
That's right.
Yeah.
I believe in it too.
And Michael's now a firm believer. It's funny, some of the things, right, that certain people get worked up over. I'm sure some people are like, that guy he's got issues with headlamps, man. And I do. You better have one that goes to red and green, or it's just bad news to be hanging out with us. So I hope that answers that. Yeah, let's, when are more Fresh Tracks episodes on the way? Oh, we just released, what, 9 of them last week, Michael, out on our Amazon channel?
Yep.
And now, yesterday, we released the second episode from season 7 out on YouTube. So we put them on Amazon, and they sit there for a couple weeks, and then we start adding them one at a time over on our YouTube channel. So they're showing up there, and we've got 3 more that'll be live on Amazon in the next month or so. And then all 12 of those will eventually find their way over to YouTube. So season 7, Fresh Tracks, so far the feedback has been really, really good.
I'll post a link to that too.
Oh, Michael's going to post a link to it. So, a couple other things we got to make sure people understand. Right, we're just about out of knives. So the Gerber RMEF deal right here. If you want your Gerber Vital for becoming an RMEF member, you go to rmef.org/Gerber, and they're going to send you this $40 knife for free. Well, for becoming an RMEF member. And you're going to help the cause of conservation. You're going to help hunting access. You're going to help a lot of things by being a member of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. So please go do that if you haven't already. And thanks to RMEF for the great work they do, and thanks for Gerber for providing such a cool premium for anyone who decides to be a member. And then we want to make sure that people know there's still some opportunity to get elk tags this year. We did this last week, right? So over here on our board, we have it written down. Idaho is your number one of your top 5 choices to still go elk hunting this year. Say you haven't drawn a tag yet. Idaho is your number 1 choice. But those tags are starting to sell because each zone has X number of non-resident tags, and people are saying, you know, seems like I should probably be getting in on this. And I can't say how long they'll last, but it won't be too long, and those will probably be gone. Number 2 is Colorado. You got over the counter in, I think, 90, almost 100 units for archery, for second rifle and third rifle. Just buy your tag, go online right now and buy it, or buy it when you get there. To me, that's the number 2 option. Number 3, Oregon. You got Roosevelts that, for the most part, are over the counter. A lot of the archery hunting in Oregon is over the counter. There's some spike-only units that are over the counter in Oregon. So that's probably your number 3 option. Number 4, I was looking for the date out here before we went live, and I can't find it. But any day now, Montana is going to start issuing all the tags that got turned back this summer. It's usually this first week of August. So that's an option if you can get in on that list and snap one up before they're gone. And then last would be Utah. They have over-the-counter tags that are mostly archery and mostly for spikes, but not all. So to me, those are 5 places where you could go elk hunting this year if you wanted to. What else? I think Michael's going to post the link for the Bowtex Win a Whitetail Hunt sweepstakes. That one is in the Grigsby Farm back in Illinois. Just fill out the survey at Bowtex, full, all expense, everything paid. You're going to Illinois hunting really big whitetails. You can enter that with the link Michael's going to post, or you can text Newberg, Newberg, to the number 64600. And let's see, what else we got? Want to make sure that, oh, where'd it go? Yeah?
Got a little technical difficulty here.
Uh-oh, Michael says we got, what kind of technical difficulty?
Just
Says your live video is interrupted. What's going on? It paused. Your broadcast should resume shortly.
You're kind of like glitching in and out.
We just lost the feed. That's not good. What's going on?
It's not really working that well.
Come on. Restarting work. Bummer. Wyoming. Come on. Johnny. Instagram doesn't drop you out. Well, I guess we're doing Instagram. Yeah. Facebook is like the most fickle, flaky thing. Same with live stream. There's something going on with that feed right there.
It says it's perfect.
Says that everything is A-OK, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what the heck? Did the winner of the Kenetrek boots ever get announced? Yes. He has been notified. Man, I get tired of these technical difficulties. I don't know. Why is it so hard? Why can Instagram do everything on a phone, and we've got a $3,500 camera and a $1,000 live stream box and $1,000 of audio and more Ethernet cable than you could ever imagine, and we can't get that to work, but this little phone will work. That's not good. It appears as though we lost everybody.
Yeah, definitely on Facebook.
And on live stream.
Yeah, and on live stream.
Dang, folks. Sorry about this. We'd went probably 2 months without a technical challenge.
It's me. It's because it's me.
It's Michael. I was just getting ready to blow my flute here and tell people that you can get 15% off out here at Bugling Bulls, i.e. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. 15% off by using promo code RANDY. Oh, man. I'm so frustrated with this. I guess there's nothing we can do. What are we going to do, Michael?
Do you want to answer some of these questions on
Instagram?
You can have my phone.
Antelope meat or dilly bars? Antelope meat. I know that some might be surprised that I ever said that. Oh, Michael's brand new phone that he got yesterday. Let me see. All right, we're just doing this with Instagram, then. Heck with it. How's the training going? Not very good. The doctors didn't release me to train until July 1st, and since then I've been on the road so much that I'm gonna pay. When we go to Nevada, oh my gosh, I am gonna pay. Yeah, someone says, hey, it looks like Zuckerberg is holding us guys down on the Facebook gig. I think you're right. Not good. Not good, Mark. Instagram is working. Yeah, here we are. Let's see. Do I know what calibers the Signature Series rifle will come in? I know for sure. Right now, you can get a 6.5 Creedmoor, a 308, or a 300 Win Mag, and they are working on getting the deliveries for the 7mm 08 and the 7mm Remington Magnum. I have no idea what the retailer is going to charge as the end price. I wish I knew, but I don't. Looking at a Titan, how many miles do you get out of a tank? You know, I never really thought about that, out of a tank. I'll try to remember that. I'll try to think about that next time. Let's see. Montana CWD, Northern Montana CWD, how bad is it? I don't really know. We've had a few reported instances there, and until they really start testing it heavily, we've not tested it a lot there in Montana. We really, I suspect we're probably not gonna know until they really start testing. Seeing your Amazon doll sheep hunt has inspired me. I'm doing that within the next 3 years. Go do it, Matt. You will not regret it.
We're back on Facebook too, just so you know.
What? We're back on Facebook?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Mine says it's interrupted.
Really? Refresh it.
Refresh. All right. No dice. Let's see. I don't know. I think Facebook. I think the Russians took over Facebook. Let's see. I'm looking to buy a Howa 308. Should I wait for the Signature Series rifle? If you're looking to buy an entire combination with a very impressive stock, Leupold VX3i optics, and all of the fixins, you might want to wait. But I also don't want to hold somebody up from buying the rifle that they want. Let's see. Have you ever switched from an external cow call to internal mouth read and get a response just from the switch? I have not. I'm strictly a diaphragm guy, so I can't speak to that. Hunting the southern part of the West Elk Wilderness, any advice? Yeah, be in good shape. You ever been to the West Elks? It's some tough ground, but it's beautiful country and there's a lot of elk there. Facebook is up. My Facebook feed is not up.
Go back, go to your...
Okay, 4 minutes, 61 comments. Welcome back. All right, folks, I'm blaming it on the Russians, man.
You see it?
Yeah, it's back up. But what about, how are we doing over here on live stream?
I'll check that.
Oh, there we are there also. 308 or 270? Well, that's hard to say. They're both so good, I'd go with whatever one I had, or whatever one I had sentimental attachment to. I don't know. Let's see. Are you going to do another Facebook Live on Friday to announce all the info on the new rifle? I don't know if I'm going to get permission to do it by Friday, but they told me to have our video ready by Friday. So that video got approved this afternoon. Let's see. We're back up. Have I ever hunted Barbary sheep in New Mexico? I haven't. And the reason being, kind of like with ibex and oryx down there, we pretty much do native species. And nothing against the non-native species. It's just what I'm inclined to hunt is the native species, and Barbary outad ends up not being on that list once we plan our calendar for the year. Let's see. So did I hear right? Randy, did you say that out of all the over-the-counter states, Idaho would be your first pick? I did, Jay. Idaho is my first choice for over-the-counter elk right now. I would go do that. What is the wolf what was that question? What is the wolf depredation tag or predation tag? We only have one type of wolf tag that I'm aware of in Montana. Anyone can buy it, resident, non-resident, and go buy one. If you're here elk hunting, you may as well have one of those in your pocket. All right. Some people are saying that it's cutting in and out again. Have I ever hunted Oregon? No, I haven't. As a 30-year-old logger from Iowa who wants to hunt the West every year for everything, where should I build points and for what species? I would, depending on what your budget is, I would be looking at building points in Arizona and Wyoming, depending on what species. If you can afford both of them, do it for all species. After that, those two, I'd probably be building points in Colorado, at least for deer, and maybe for elk, just to get, the first rifle season elk hunts are in the same units where sometimes they have over-the-counter elk hunts, but it's just a higher quality experience because you aren't in the woods with lots of other people. It's a limited draw for the first season, so you have a lot less hunting pressure, and it's just a higher quality experience. So some of those points there can be worthwhile. And if your budget allows, Nevada, Utah, wherever you can build points is in the long run going to pay off, but don't forego your hunting experiences just because you're spending all your budget to build points. How many Chamberings in the new rifle lineup? I just rattled those off before Facebook came up live. Right now, the 3 you'll be able to get is a 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, 300 Win mag. And in process are the 7mm Remington mag and the 7mm 08. So there'll be 5. That's what they tell me. I'm excited about all those. How about a limited entry public land archery alligator hunt down in Georgia? My stepsister would kill me if I didn't go to Florida on an alligator hunt. She lives down there, her and her husband. They're set up for everything. Diane and Kyle would just, they've invited me so many times. If I go, it's going to be in Florida. So, let's see. Ever hunt units 80 and 81 in Colorado? I've not. Let's see. Would you recommend purchasing a preference point for Montana's next year general tag or gamble on the draw? If you want 100% draw odds and know that you're going to get your combo tag, buy the preference point. It's $50, but you're going to end up pretty much guaranteed you're going to get the tag. What company did you use for the gunslings that mount on your seats in your truck? Headwater seat covers. Their seat covers have that scabbard system built into it, huh? It is, as my grandpa would say, slicker than deer guts on a doorknob. It's, yeah, it's really, really cool. Call them out there at Headwater Seat Covers. Let's see. Where's the closest to New Hampshire I've ever hunted? I've never hunted very close to New Hampshire. Do I think a carbon barrel is worth the extra money? It depends on what you're looking for weight. It could be, and depends on what your budget is. We're working with Howa right now on a super lightweight version. We hope that will be out next year or the year after. And I'm sure it'll have some carbon on it if we can get it to where I want it. What tags am I most excited about this season? The one that's, hey, Rod Huffnagel, how you doing, old man? Wink. Haven't talked to you forever. But I would say the tags I'm most excited about is my British Columbia mountain caribou hunt. That's been on my list of wanting to do forever, and I'm going to get to do it this year. As far as draw tags in the lower 48, I would say probably my mule deer tag in Wyoming, or this is just a revenge item. I have a rifle coos deer tag, and you've watched me struggle with my bow. Well, I'm going to be down there with my Howa doing a little Howa handshaking, and I'm going to be pretty excited to go do that. So, Idaho recommendation for an over-the-counter unit. There's zones, and each zone has multiple units. I would just find the one that fits what you want to do, the terrain you want to hunt, go do it. And their website, and if you go to gohunt.com, oh, I forgot to do the 30-day promo about Go Hunt. Put that link up there, Michael. Gohunt.com, we use this insider service. Right now, 30-day free trial. Gohunt.com/Randy. You get everything, all these research articles. They just put a really good research article out there about over-the-counter units and selecting units. So go sign up for the 30-day free trial. Gohunt.com/Randy. And that 30-day free trial is probably going to allow you to spend days researching that question that you just asked. Let's see. Idaho has a hunt planner that's pretty useful. Yeah, they do. Idaho has one of the better hunt planners of any of the state agencies. Which Mystery Ranch backpack would you recommend for someone who's getting into the backcountry backpacking from 1 day to a 7-day max? I've been looking into getting a Metcalf or a Beartooth. Which do you suggest? Those are the two I would suggest. It would depend on if you're doing more 1, 2, and 3 day hunts or more 5, 6, and 7 day hunts. The Beartooth would be for the longer hunts. The Metcalf would be for the shorter period hunts. And we just did a video that explains all of the Mystery Ranch packs. It's out there on our YouTube channel. And if you go to gohunt.com and you go to their shop and buy your Mystery Ranch packs, use promo code Randy and you get 10% off everything at checkout. How's that, huh? Save you 10% on everything, not just some things, everything. All right, what did I do there? I just lost my feed again. We still live? It says I am.
Mine looks like you are.
Yeah, all right, now it's back up. Man, Facebook. I'm telling you, folks, I think I might have ticked off the Russians or the Chinese or something here. This is, never had, ooh, someone said this one. I have 23 elk points in Colorado and I'm 41 years old. Keep building or burn them? You're in that no man's land. You've got some good hunts available to you, but catching that next final tier. So you're like just below those units in the Northwest. You're 3 or 4 years behind, or points behind. But there's so many people between you and there that you're probably going to be in your late 50s or 60s before you climb far enough up to get one of those units. I don't know. For me, you and I, let's see, I would have had, so 20, I'd have the same number of points you have if I hadn't burned my points when I had 19 a few years ago. And I just said, you know what, I want to go. So I did. And it was really worthwhile. Is the Montana Unit 900 antelope archery hunt a good hunt? I think it is. You know, our antelope numbers are way down from what they were 10, 15 years ago, just because we've had hard winter after hard winter. But it's still a lot of fun. Michael's going to find out, right?
Yep.
He's going to get one of those tags.
It's one of my favorites. Marcus got one too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Michael, what's your new tripod that you have there? Is it that you got some funky name tripod in head?
Sarui.
Sarui.
Sarui
V something.
V5, I think is what it's called. The tripod head. And then
Michael and Marcus are using those. They really like them. Again, go to gohunt.com and buy it. Use promo code Randy when you check out, and you're going to save 10% on that tripod. They have it out there. I know that. Let's see. I bet you a lot of people would buy a 30-06. Yes, I probably would. 30-06 is a great cartridge. When you are coming back to base camp every night, what all do you carry in your pack that always has your pack so full? Usually some spare clothes, food, production gear, game bags, kill kit, water. With my liver condition, I can't get dehydrated or I'm in bad trouble. So, yeah, always lots of stuff. Extra batteries for all the things we do. Have a little charger for my on-X. The basic spare headlamps. Yeah, it's, I'm sure most people grab my pack and say, what do you got in here, Andy? My goodness. Let's see. Ever hunt Unit 20 in Wyoming for antelope? I have not. I've hunted a lot of Wyoming's antelope units, but I've not. Blake says, I would love to see your trophy room. Well, my wife's really not into taxidermy, so I don't have a shoulder-mounted elk. I have one mule deer mounted, one whitetail, a mountain goat. So my quote-unquote trophy room is my shop. I call it the boneyard. I do a lot of European mounts. So, oh, do you have the info to trade my old Bugle tube into Rocky Mountain Calls for their big tube? This is one of their really old ones. I don't have it, but I'd call them or go online to Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, and they'll give you the skinny on that. All right. I've always owned a 300 Win Mag, but this year I got a 270 and I was wondering what you thought is the best round for it. Depends on what you're hunting. If I'm hunting elk, it's 150 grain Nosler Partition. If I'm hunting antelope and deer, it's 130 grain Nosler Accubon. That's what I shoot out of my 270s. Do you ever leave meat on the mountain overnight if it's too much to pack out? Oh yeah, lots of times. We just hang it where we know it's going to cool. We hang it high enough that we know bears and wolves and predators aren't going to get to it. We usually, because we hunt a lot in grizzly country, we hang it in some place where we can approach it and see it from a distance so that if a grizzly bear were there, we are hopefully going to notice it. We hang it away from the carcass and gut pile so that if a bear's on the carcass and gut pile, we're not going to have to go and fight them just to get our meat that's hanging in the tree. So someone says, so much for your for your trophy room. I want to see your gun safe. I'm sure the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms someday is going to come and check me out. Nosler just sent me, I just posted it on my Instagram. Nosler just sent me 3 cases of ammunition. I love the smell of gunpowder, man. Oh, I don't know. How many rifles and shotguns we got over there, Michael? 15 probably?
Too many.
Michael says too many. And at home, I've got 2 or 3, probably 3 times that many. So, yeah, you might want to see my gun safe more than my trophy room. Have I ever hunted Washington? No, I haven't. Do I cold call setups when archery elk hunting? Yeah, I do. Pretty much every bugle I do is a cold call. Have I hunted the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming? Yes, I have, but I'm not going to tell you what area. If you go out to RMEF Team Elk videos out on the Rocky Mountain Elk site, I think it's season 5, me and Mark Hervinen did that hunt. Mark shot his first bull in the Bighorns. So, 3 cases of ammo, heaven. If you knew how much powder we burn here and how much shooting I do. I mean, if you think about it right now, I got to break in these rifles. I got scopes I'm adjusting. I got rifles that we're sending out to Wade, and Michael and Marcus are each going to have their rifles, and we burn through a lot of lead and a lot of powder. So, Justin, Randy, you always talk about glassing south slopes. I'm not sure where people say I glass south slopes. I always say I never glass south slopes. Those are the last slopes I glass. So I've had a couple people ask me that, and I must have been all over-medicated one day and said something about glassing south slopes.
Maybe bear hunting?
Oh, bear hunting, yeah, I glass south slopes, bear hunting, but not for elk. So, what gun and caliber were you using in Alaska for the black bear hunt in your most recent season on Amazon? We were using Howa Alpine Mountain Rifles. Both those bears were shot. 1 bullet, 140 grain Nosler Accubond out of a 7M08. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, you can't kill those big bears with that 140 grain bullet. 2 really big bears didn't get the memo. So, let's see. Well, I'm looking for one really good one to wrap this up, Michael. I feel terrible that we had a crash and burn with our technology system.
Sorry guys, it's my fault.
Yeah, let's blame Michael. So, here's one. Scott says, this is a good one because it's relevant to what's happening. Archery seasons for elk are going to start in August in Colorado, in Nevada, in Utah. I think Idaho this year starts end of August. And so this one's pretty applicable. Scott asks, it'll be hot in the day and still down in the 50s at night. If I'm lucky to get one early in the day, how would you handle the meat? I live 1.5 hours away. What I'd do is I'd stay there and I'd get the hide off that thing immediately. I'd get it processed, I'd get it quartered. I'd go find some trees with some shade and some wind, and while I'm doing the rest of that meat, I'm letting that meat cool down. You'd be surprised, even if it's warm, especially if you can get to a north slope where you've got even the thermals that are coming up are cooler than they are on an east slope or a south slope or a west slope. You're going to get some wind, you're going to have shade. That meat will start cooling down. And I'm probably going to, so you say early in the day, let's say it's noon. By the time you get all that taken care of, you're probably going to have 4 or 5 hours tied up in that. Just getting that thing quartered, boned, hung, and maybe not boned, but at least quartered and bagged and hung. I'm going to get my first load out of there as soon as I can. I'm going to let it hang overnight, and I'm going to be there as early as I can that next morning, and I'm going to start packing it out of there. If it cools down to the 50s at night, I might even bone what I'm going to carry out the next morning and the next day, and I'm just going to hustle. That's really how it is. And hopefully at your truck, you've got some place to keep it cool also, right? Because you haul it off the mountain and it sits at your truck while you're making all these shuttles. So hopefully you got somewhere there that's a cooler with ice or some shady spot, some windy spot that, you know, allow your meat to not spoil. Because you work that hard, last thing you want is that meat to spoil. So anyhow, really appreciate it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. And sorry for the technical failure we had partway into it. But thanks to all the companies that make this possible. I hope you'll support them. Bowtech, Leupold, Onyx Maps, GoHunt.com, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, Tight Spot, Ripcord, and Black Gold. And have fun hunting. It's close. It won't be long now.